Hey guys, today we're reviewing the updated version of the Thrunite T10. Now they actually updated this light about a year ago. I'm just a little, behind the times here. If you remember, the Thrunite was actually the first kind of modern Cree LED light that I reviewed on this channel. Prior to that, it was all just, $3 and $4 eBay flashlights that were really no good and just ended up breaking over the years. And these are the lights that got me into this for the channel. At least this light is. And so I want to do a review on the updated version because, the old version, you can't even get it anymore. So what's the point of even having the video, So this thing is a very simple 3-mode flashlight that uses the XPL LED. It has a 208 lumen mode, a 13 lumen mode, and a sub 1 lumen Firefly mode. Simple to use and also has mode memory. One of the things I think this makes such a great EDC light for is simplicity. This thing is very, very simple. Plus it can use all three of the major, actually 4 major types of batteries. Alkaline, nickel metal hydride rechargeable. You can use lithium ion 14500s, and you can also use the lithium iron or the Life PO4 battery. So you can use all of those. You do have to bear in mind though, if you're going to use 14500s, the light's going to get very hot and you're not going to want to run it for extended periods. Now they advertise their modes. I got, 192 lumens, 8 lumens, and 0, which is very, very similar enough considering my error where their numbers are correct. I tested it with a loop rechargeable. I got 120 minutes of runtime on high, and it actually maintained about 90% of its, 85-90% of its brightness out to an hour, and then over the course of that next hour, it still was about 75% at 80 minutes, and then kind of bottomed out around 100. But in the end, it lasted 120 minutes with an alkaline. I ended up getting well over 120 minutes. I actually shut it off before the light died. Those alkalines tend just to run forever and just dim very slowly over time. So I did end that one early. So as I mentioned, this thing's a very simple operation. Tail switch. It's a reverse clicky. So turning it on, and then a half switch will cycle between the modes. You can see with the XPL, it's not like a tremendous hot spot, so it's a very well kind of spread out light beam. You're not going to get a very big hot spot that's going to travel long distance. This is a very good light for close-up work. Very good light if you need something in the car. Very good light if you're reading a book, in your sleep or in your tent at night. Very simple, very easy, very pocketable, and plus it can use all the different kinds of batteries. So very good in an emergency because you can use, the lithium batteries and all that are better in cold and high temperatures, which is awesome. Stainless steel bezel. Gives it a nice little look, I think. Orange peel reflector. Glass lens. As I mentioned, it's the XPL. Pocket clip, not the biggest fan of, to be honest. I think Thrunite loses a couple points. I just think it's too thin of a material. But it deep carries all the way to the end, so you don't really have to worry about the tip of the flashlight catching on anything and ripping it out of your pocket. If it weren't deep carry, I'd say it was an issue, but it is a little thin. I would definitely prefer a thicker pocket clip than that. But other than that, that is my only complaint about the light. Good knurling, good anodization. Doesn't come off in the pocket, which is awesome. So we're going to zoom out of here and show you the original. So this guy has a lot of pocket time, a lot of trail hours, and it still looks essentially brand new. So what are the differences? Appearance-wise, we went from a metal switch in the original to a rubberized silicone boot. Probably increases the water resistance a little bit. The LED, XPG2, with an orange peel versus XPL. Now the XPG2 is more efficient of an LED, but not as bright. So you're only getting like 100 lumens out of the old one versus the 200 lumens out of the new one. But your runtime with the old version is going to be a little longer. It's just a difference in LEDs over time. The XPG2 is an older LED. These XPL, the new versions, the V5 and V6, are just super, super bright for the amount of current you put through them. But other than that, there's really not a ton of difference between these. They're very simple, and price-wise on these guys, you're talking like 25 bucks. Really a good deal when you look at it, because there's a lot of lights on the market, and a lot of AA lights, because they are probably the most popular for everyday carry. But this thing, I think it's that bread and butter. What I really like is simple, just 3 modes, low, medium, high, and you have 2 very lows and 1 very high. You tend to, when you often get flashlights, get like this huge array of modes, and you really don't need them. When it comes to an EDC light, there's pretty much 2 things I want. Moonlight, a low and a high, and this fits that bill perfectly. I really like the moonlight modes for when I'm in a car, because no one wants to turn on 200 lumens when you're inside a car. Nobody wants to turn on 200 lumens inside a tent when you're just looking for the zipper. You know, it's very nice to have those low modes, but you also have that 200 lumen mode if you do need the light. You got to walk around at night, walking the dog, something like that. Very versatile, and it cuts out all the garbage. No strobes, no blinkies, nothing like that. Very simple to easy to use. And like I said, it's a reverse clicky, so you're literally just turning it on. And it's got a memory mode, so it's going to go to the last mode that you used, and just a half switch to switch between them. Simple, easy. You can also twist the head to change the modes. I don't like that as much, but you can do it if you want. I think the reverse clicky is great for me. I prefer reverse clicky on a flashlight. You get a little more of a tactile feel as to when the light turns on, whereas the forward clickies, you could possibly be bending over and have it turn on every time you bend over using that kind of momentary feature. So overall, guys, I think this is that bread and butter. This is something I think should be in every gear guy's bag of flashlights, because it is. It's simple, it's tough, it's very versatile, and it just gets the job done. And at 23 bucks, it's something pretty much affordable to about anyone. You know, in reality, there's not many lights, you know, AA lights that are going to get you 200 lumens that are not, you know, below this in price. There's very few that you're going to find, and most of them are not going to have the capabilities of this. Most of them are not going to be as tough as this, and most of them are just not going to be this quality. So hope you enjoyed.